let us all do we can to build a better future.
So, I have really good news, and I have some really even maybe worse news that kind of negates the good news. All right, so here we go.
Isn't that like, aren't you literally describing like everything we've ever done? Hey guys, guess what? A puppy got saved from a tree. Bad news, the forest burned down.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly. That's a perfect paralleled analogy. I love it.
I can't help but think of thunder lizards when Squat would always say, "Hey, is that a bad thing?" Yes, Squat. Falling out of an airplane with no engine or guidance is definitely in the bad things category.
Well, what if the plane's going down? All right. So the good news.
Well, then you want to jump out, not fall.
I guess that's true. If the plane is tumbling out of the air, though, and the hatch happens to be open, you'll fall out, and it'll be the same.
Thunder lizards rule.
I can't think of the
There you
word.
go.
Anyway, okay, so here's good news. President Joe Biden vowed Tuesday during his debut speech before the United Nations to double U.S. spending on international climate aid to $11.4 billion per year by 2024. This move that would significantly expand the pot of money available for poorer countries to develop clean energy and adapt to the already brutal effects of climate warming. So the bad news on that, so that sounds great. Okay, $11.4 billion a year, and he actually doubled that from 6 months ago. His pledge 6 months ago. Pardon me. So the bad news is that even this massively increased annual figure falls far short of what the U.S. allies are contributing and represents roughly only about 1/8 of what the world's largest historical emitter would need to pay to account for its cumulative share of carbon heating the planet. And do we know who that number one emitter is?
It's us!
We're number one!
Yeah, we did it!
Woo! We're actually not number one. China's number one right
China-
now.
oh,
But
don't tell that to Trump.
We're looking at the 200 years, that we've been in existence and the carbon that we've emitted in that period of time. So we're number one in that regard.
So as I always like converting these into like term paper grades. So we're getting like a 10% on it.
Yeah.
Woo! We got look how progressive. We got 10% on this paper. We're gonna pass.
F-. I gotta have my parents sign my homework.
I got an F+. That means I'm smarter than you. There you go. We're both failing, but I'm the smarter failure. There you go.
So for some context, former President Donald Trump canceled all payments to the world's main climate aid fund. So, I mean, to be fair, it's $11.4 billion more dollars a year than that. And Trump's predecessor, former President Barack Obama, had pledged $3 billion, but paid only $1 billion before his Republican successor took office. So comparatively, Biden is looking real good on this. However, the U.S. has spewed the second most carbon into the atmosphere each year since 2006, next to China. But the U.S. is the largest per capita emitter by far, and carbon dioxide remains in the atmosphere for over a century, preventing the sun's heat from escaping back into space and heating the planet all the while, meaning the U.S.'s nearly 200 years of industrial pollution make up the lion's share of emissions causing climate change today. So accounting for that reality, the U.S. would need to spend $800 billion on climate aid to the rest of the world by 2030, according to analysis put forward earlier this year by a diverse coalition of more than 1,300 civil society groups. So that would be $89 billion a year. So that's nearly 8 times more what Biden is putting forward. Some of the things that I wanted to point out, however, is that we also have pledged, where is it? I want to get the number right, $714 billion on our military spending in 2020 alone. And so I want to put that into perspective for everybody. And not to mention, I think arguably climate change and climate disasters and refugees coming into the country and a shortage of natural resources is probably one of our nation's biggest upcoming threats.
Also, the money that Biden's putting in for this is probably not even enough to cover the military, which is, I think, the largest polluter in the U.S.
Yes, the Pentagon.
And so
yes.
it's like, I mean, it's like, okay, it's like this whole thing is like Biden, the military, and China like arguing who can drop kick a dog further. It's like no one won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, and consider also that many reports have come out over the last 5 years or so, Kit. I know we've done a couple stories together on it about the massive amounts of waste the Pentagon puts out.
Yep.
Around to the tune of about $125 billion. And so, I think it's safe to say that the military spending that we are doing right now could probably be put toward climate change because it is a threat.
Yeah.
Like 10% of it seems. We're talking 10% grade.
Right.
Military does 10%. It's an A.
Yeah, and so I think that this issue, this problem we're faced with, could easily be resolved if our legislators, the people making the rules, weren't getting totally bribed by the people that are getting the lion's share of our money. Those people in the Pentagon and military-industrial complex.
Someone made a point. It's like, don't forget the $2 trillion. This is way more than $2 trillion that they lost, but maybe that's how we pay for renewable energy. We just oops, we lost 10% of the budget. It just turned up to be in all this green new energy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they wouldn't know. The
Yeah.
contractors would know, though.
Yeah, they'd be very
I
upset.
guarantee
They'd be like,
that.
why can't I bid on that? I have bullets. We can make those into solar panels.
Yeah, so I mean, while these efforts look very good on the exterior, it makes us sound like really good guys. Really, we are not paying, to use a term that we've been hearing a lot lately. We're not paying our fair share when it comes to the global climate crisis, and people the world over are suffering, and the people that are suffering the most are the people who have had the least impact on the climate. So, I mean, in the world of fairness, and we all know nothing's fair, but in the world of fairness, that is extremely, it's very disparate.
Okay, so look, just a couple of things. Number one, under the Biden-Harris administration, the Line 3 and Line 5 pipeline are still happening. Again, with everyone, I remind everyone that the Line 5 pipeline is a 60-plus-year-old pipeline that's underneath Lake Michigan. If there is a true disaster, that is a large body of fresh, clean drinking water that will be contaminated heavily and will impact a lot of coastal cities on Lake Michigan, including a major metropolis known as the city of Chicago. Gee, I wonder where... Hey, that's our hometown right
That
there.
is our hometown.
That's our hometown. Also, there's the Line 5 pipeline. There's also the Colonial Pipeline that's leaking. There's also the fact that, again, we are dealing with firsthand of super hurricanes, droughts, fires that are happening, but yet the Biden-Harris administration is continuing on with their policy of embracing the big fossil fuel industries and also turning a blind eye to the absolute waste that's happening in the Pentagon. Biden failing on climate change, it shouldn't surprise anyone. And again, hey, vote blue no matter who. This was your guy that was supposed to make things better, but he's still continuing on with Trump's policies. But it's not Trump's policies, it's also Obama's policies, and also George Bush Jr.'s policies, and also, again, Bill Clinton's policies, or George Bush Sr.'s policies, and wait, let's start from the beginning. It's Reagan's policies. Reagan started all this, and it's been continued on by Democratic and Republican presidential administrations.
You know, it'd be nice. So, how Reagan was basically an actor who was losing his mind by this presidency. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, here's the best hope. Maybe Biden's the symbolic end of that because he sort of tries to act, but he's also just losing his mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's I think we can all agree Biden's basically just Hoover. Just can't do anything. Everything's falling apart. Everyone's getting unemployed, couldn't care at all. I just hope that we get a real FDR running next time who has actual brass balls and not just inflatable ones. It'd be nice, at least. We can all hope. But I do hope we get, someone like a Jimmy Dore type. I mean, wouldn't it be great if Jimmy Dore just ran for under the Democratic...
There's no way Jimmy Dore would.
I know he was. I'm saying
there's not a chance in hell.
There isn't a chance in hell. That's why I'm speculating as if he did.
I thought you were going to say Jon Stewart.
No, Jon Stewart's doing
I think Jon Stewart could win a presidential election.
I think he could, but he's
got
happy.
the name recognition. People.
He
love
has
him.
his farm. He's
and people
happy.
trust him.
Yeah, that's true. But I would just like to see like Jimmy Dore run just so we can yell.
Yeah,
at
well,
everyone.
what I think that someone like a Jimmy Dore could be useful for, not that it would ever happen because I don't think Jimmy Dore wants that horrible job anyway, is I think he'd bring to light a lot of what people are missing right now in the information that is given
Yeah.
us. And he would do it in a
yeah.
very abrasive and
Yeah.
alarming way.
I love Jimmy Dore. He just starts his first day. Hey guys, I just found out we're $2 trillion wet. Say hi to the Waltons.
There you go. Actually, I want to go a little bit further. I would like to see a leader, someone who would cross the Rubicon.
Chance
Like-
the Snapper.
Oh, but not Chance. Well, you know what? Maybe. Why not? Why not? Chance the Snapper's getting the nomination for the Volcano Party. I am going to support Chance the Snapper 2024 for Volcano Party. He will cross the Rubicon and hold the Senate accountable for its incompetence. But let's face it, with Biden and Harris once again embracing fossil fuel industry and also once again lagging behind with any kind of real change, it's very clear that Biden was correct on his message that nothing will fundamentally change.
Who are you going to pick? Before I said Chance the Snapper.
Well, it doesn't matter now. Chance the
No,
Snapper.
it does. I'm
No, it doesn't matter now. Chance the Snapper, Volcano
it?
Party.
Who is
I
it?
think
Who
it
is
was Chance the Snapper.
You
No,
stole
no.
it. You swiped it right out of his
I
like,
heard the gears in his
joke
head
machine.
turning. I'm like, I'm gonna cut right into this man's
No.
whole career.
No.
Oh well, if it's not true, who was it?
Well, you ruined it
Come
now,
on,
but
kid,
Chance the
come
Snapper
on,
does.
kid.
Peer pressure.
Okay.
Peer pressure.
What are you,
peer
chicken?
pressure.
What
Come
are you,
on.
chicken?
You were so confident to say it
Okay.
before.
Okay. Well, actually, who I would really have liked to have seen, but we don't have somebody like that anymore. Not like a Jimmy Dore type, but maybe a Mike Gravel type. Because what Gravel did, and again, I think a lot of us kind of ignored. It's very keen-eyed people saw it. Mike Gravel on one stage called out the hypocrisy of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama in 2008, and I wish that more people paid attention, myself included. That's maybe a combination of a Jimmy Dore, but really a Mike Gravel. That's what we needed. And sadly, Mike Gravel's not here anymore with us, but he was also the one that also stood in support of the publishing of the Pentagon Papers. We need people like that, and they're a dime a dozen.